1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And welcome to Threats from Mirkwood, our monthly campaign of the One Ring game by Cubicle 7. I am your lore master, Garrett Crow. We're going to start tonight doing something we don't usually do. We're going to do a round table talking and actually talk news. How often do you get to talk news about Tolkien? So they announced it that Amazon's going to have the rights to produce the Lord of the Rings as a multi-season TV show, and they said that they're going to create original plot lines to at the beginning to kind of pad things out, which really to me means they're going to be doing what we're doing. They're telling the story of what happened leading up to Lord of the Rings, which is what we're playing out here in Darkening of Mirkwood. So, who would like to start with sharing their feelings about this?
I would say, you know what? I think it's like any other TV show. I think that sort of thing is going to come down to the writing. If they are trying to compete with a show like Game of Thrones, you can do it, but I think it would be easy if you had poor writers to get out of the sort of the Tolkien milieu, and suddenly people are fighting dragons, and the magic or whatever of the world is, gets out of hand, like in Tolkien, really the magic and such is a little bit more subtle, So I guess my concern would be that they'd try to make things really big, and try to compete with something like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I agree with Eric on that. I think I think Tolkien's world is much more docile, and it's about poetry and language and history. And it's going to be hard to encourage, all the public to go there. People like us certainly would watch it if it was we were seeing a reenactment of a pure Tolkien. You can go line by line, chapter by chapter, and have people learn the languages and act out and do things in general. But I think their probably goal is to grab the public at large and not just go to people who are either Tolkien scholars or really interested in Tolkien. They want to grab other people and interest them in that. So I agree, it's going to probably go off the rails and be more grandiose. But I'm actually one of those people that I'm cool with anything to do with the entertainment of it. I feel like I've been starved already with The Hobbit being over, and as much as I look forward to all the Star Wars movies, I couldn't wait for every Hobbit movie to come out and every Lord of the Rings movie to come out. I'm thrilled to have anything. I know not all the public will be like that, so I'm drinking stout out of my Lord of the Rings 2001 Fellowship of the Ring thing from Burger King. So I'll take whatever I can get. I'm a cheap date, easy to please. So I'll be happy with anything they dish out to me.
I am shocked and stunned. I bet you went to Denny's for their treasonous second breakfast, right?
Yes.
I can't believe what I am hearing.
Their third breakfast.
I am disgusted and appalled. I'm horrified. I'm horrified at what I'm hearing from the mouths of people I respect. You make a lot of good points, but maybe the best one is they're not going after Tolkien scholars. Clearly, because we're the last people on Earth that want to see them make this. Garrett announced this to me about this thing some time ago, and he thought, in his infinite not knowing me after 20 years, that I would be excited and happy about it. I was excited, all right. I wanted to rip somebody's head off. And I'm sorry. It's hard when somebody says Tolkien's world is more docile and they'll be killing dragons. I'm just like, has anybody read the Silmarillion? Huh?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I was not a big fan of like all the extra stuff in The Hobbit, to be honest. I mean, Mike, it sounds like you may have been, but like, you know, Radagast running around with the rabbits and stuff, I was like, that wasn't for me.
Well, you know,
I just happy they made something and produced it. And you know, I would look at things, and even starting, you know, with the Fellowship of the Ring, I mean, I was already picking things out that I knew that wasn't part of the book and trying to understand why they added that in there. And then it has exponentially gotten worse and worse. I agree with The Hobbit and stuff as to what's going on. So I pretty much just at this point, you know, I'm giving up that they're going to do anything about Tom Bombadil or anything like that. I mean, it's just more or less, I got to accept what they're going to put out for me. I'm not a big enough fish that they're going to listen to what Mary and I and, you know, all of us have to say. You know, I mean, it's like Star Wars. We might not be happy with, you know, spoilers, them killing Han Solo, you know, but we're going to have to accept it.
Right.
I think it'll come down to the writers, the characters, building the characters up over a period of time, how well the actors do in portraying the build out of the character over time. Obviously, you're going to get the flashy stuff for all the new computer graphics and everything, so that's great. I mean, if you look at the Game of Thrones and what they did with the dragons there, I mean, it's just fabulous. So hopefully they'll extend that even more and make those even more lifelike if those encounters happen. So, it'll be entertaining. It's entertainment. That's what it is. Yeah. So if it can't capture the hearts of everybody watching it, it won't be on the air very long.
It's pretty obvious that Amazon's going to be needing talent. So Amazon, if you're listening to this and watching, you have experienced role players here that probably are, you know, may be available. You'd have to talk to our agents, but
I check my calendar. Yeah.
Right. But you know, you might as well go with some experienced folks that understand the background of that. So
I'm not so sure that I would want to be classified along with from some of the heretical things you've said. Mike, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to see if they can get Ella Brimborn and Lorith together on even if I got to work for free.
Well, I agree. It's going to come down to the writing.
And I'm happy to play a dwarf any day of the week. So.
Unlike Peter Jackson, they won't be so enamored of the fact that they can make a nice Nordic-looking sword that looks perfect in Eowyn's hand, that they forget to actually use the great plots that are already available and instead make a bunch of shitty plots cobbled together from Tolkien crumbs and then put them together in some slapdash fashion, leaving huge, gaping, stupid, ignorant holes like Peter Jackson did in every single one of the movies that he has made, and just keep getting worse. I mean, the second Hobbit movie was one of the worst pieces of shit on earth as far as I'm concerned. I would rather watch The Room without riff tracks 5 times in a row with my eyeballs taped open than see that again. I swear it. Okay, that's my rant. I'm sorry. But here's the thing. You know, no one can crab about Christopher Tolkien. retiring at 93 after putting out another book just recently, right? And all that. I mean, you know, the man's devoted his life and he's kept it classy, and he's tried to keep it classy and keep it a legacy. And even so, some of the crap that happened around letting his father's work get a wider audience got into his family business and stuff and messed with them. And now it's going to be a free-for-all, and I'm not happy about that. No one's ever going to keep it as classily as he did. So that's why I don't have as much hope. I love Amazon, but I don't have as much hope for that. And as for the quality of vision of it, when they say, I mean, you said, what did you say, Garrett? Padded out? That was probably your terms and not theirs, right? Because you don't have to pad Tolkien out, you know?
No,
Yeah,
they said
right.
they were going to add extra plot lines to lead into the stories.
See, and that's what scares me. It's like extra plot lines to lead into the stories. Why don't you read the stories that lead into the stories? It's there. It's friggin' there. Just go there. Just go to what's already there. That's what I want, but that's not what I'm going to get. That's why I'm raising my blood pressure right now by thinking of all this and listening and hearing these things. Docile.
All we can hope is that, just like Game of Thrones, people that are watching the show, will start reading the books, and then they'll really appreciate the artistry of Tolkien when they start reading his material.
I don't know.
And but unfortunately, the unfortunate thing is people will take it, from the point of view that they only watch the show and think that is canon, or that is what Radagast is all about with the bunnies and sled, or I mean, that is the unfortunate problem. But all you can hope is that people will go out there and actually seek out the author's true writings, and they'll find the beauty in all of that. So
yeah, but they probably won't, because if they really really loved all that they saw before, then they're not going to have patience for character development and real story and the poetry that Tolkien puts into every chapter. And I don't mean his actual poetry, I mean just the poetry of his writing, which, sometimes gets lost among the action, but is always there. And I can't even tell you how it hurts to hear Tolkien being compared, to hear even, I don't mean anything against you guys, because you're saying it with this good intention. You're using the comparison, but to worry that Tolkien's work might not be comparable to George R.R. Martin's, who is the pretender to this Game of Thrones. I mean, please, he's not. I've got nothing against him, but I'm sorry. Before him, Michael Moorcock did everything he did, but better. So, and Tolkien did. Tolkien didn't. He didn't pretend he was doing it first. He just did it so well that he reinvented, mythology for us, and he created.
Well, and he basically created the whole business of role playing games, with his writing. I mean, all those early writers, like you're talking about, Moorcock and Lieber and Tolkien and stuff. Those people really stimulated, the whole industry today, and success of Wizards of the Coast, and a lot of, like, I don't know what the value is. Video games, everything. You could probably go back to all those early writers. They were the stimulus of doing that, because I don't know that stories were told, like that before that time, up to that level or majesty. So I don't know. I mean, hopefully they'll all you can hope is that they portray things well and hope for the best.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of hope on that count. And as Garrett well knew, I warned him, so I'm sorry. I warned him that maybe including me in this discussion wasn't the best bet. And
no, it's always good to have. Anyway. It's always good to have both sides. I kind of knew you were going to go that direction, so that's kind of why I went with Eric, because I knew you were going to balance out the other side of it. So
yeah, I feel like the possibility exists that maybe we'll get something pretty good. But I guess that possibility exists in any artistic endeavor, right? But
they got to have somebody involved with the project that has a clue about Tolkien stuff. Other than that, I mean, if they have no clue, then you just hope that they don't think that they're is more brilliant than Tolkien themselves. Is the thing. You know what I mean? So do him honor, you know what I mean, and the art you're producing.
It's like the possibility does exist. Like the Sarah Connor Chronicles, 2 seasons, brilliant. But what happens? They cancel it because it's actually right in line with the first couple of movies and takes those to heart. Okay, it embodies everything that is in those and builds upon it beautifully. So it gets canceled. It's trashed. I mean, I don't think that something that is great or is going to be even good by my standards is going to capture the general attention. That even though, not that I think my tastes are, I think I have pretty basic general tastes in most things, and when it comes, I mean, I'm middle of the road. I'm not that esoteric in general. But still, this is one of my bugbears. So I don't know. Well, whatever. Garrett, maybe go to the next point or something.
Yeah.
I'll
go on to the next point.
Rattle on to my shit.
So Mary alluded to Christopher Tolkien, who's been the leader of what goes out to other industries. Mike and I were talking beforehand. The plot point that we had of where you guys found a Silmaril and were able to harness some of its power in order to heal Gandalf. I went to Gen Con and was talking to the Cubicle 7 guys about that, and their production staff was like, we can't do that, you can't do that, we can't do that, that's not in our license, that's Silmarillion. Well, with Christopher Tolkien stepped aside, there's the possibility of opening the doors of Unfinished Tales and Silmarillion to role-playing games and to Hollywood. So your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, to people like you who remake cool characters like the Elf Under the Sea, who, however, does stuff that was already done by the Valor, and so you've kind of decided that you could rewrite Tolkien's, cosmology.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not for that. Big surprise. Go on.
Yeah, I think they'd have a hard time doing the Silmarillion as a movie. Without, they'd really have to change a lot.
I think it would be better as a series. There's so much of it.
But I could almost see them like trying to, kind of like the Fellowship of the Ring or whatever, just do some little quippets of, elves forging some rings and dwarves putting on their fingers and men putting in their fingers. We're just going to do a little bit of quick quip here. Let's present the whole Silmarillion to you, in the first 4 minutes, and then let's go on with our story. I don't know. That's what I'd be afraid of.
Yes.
And we're gonna write a different story from there. But this is a Silmarillion. It has some similarity because we're gonna read you some lines and show you some quick pictures or images that of the trees and go from there. And
let's not
creation of the world happened. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's start the next story.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain someone thinks they're bold enough to take that challenge on. It's whether or not they can convince a movie studio to pay for it. will be the big challenge. But I mean, in general, I could see anybody wanting to try, and someone will think they're big enough to try it. It'll happen.
I mean, they're going to boil it down to a few of the big stories. They're going to boil it down to maybe, you know, they're obviously Baron and Luthien, and you know, the biggest, you know, Helm of Hader and everything that flows from that and blah blah blah. They might do a little bit about the Valor making stuff, but yeah, probably not. I mean, you know, I just think how right in the beginning they were inaccurate with, you know, how the rings were made and who made them. You know, I mean, right off the bat, that pissed me off, and I don't see that this is gonna. If something like that does happen, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. But yeah, they're gonna boil it down to a few of the stories, a few of the big stories, and all the details that make those stories happen will kind of get lost. I think if it's in a movie, it would be better done as a series. It would be a long ass series.
But I'd be looking forward to it if they make it. I mean, like I said, I'm just whatever. I'm a whore for anything that's you know, something that I like. So
I remember I was like that a long time ago, and repeated blows of bad versions of Tolkien films and stuff really hit me hard. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll walk out of movies now. I used to never do that, but I actually will go to movies now, and I'll try to give it a go. And there's movies I've just literally walked out of the theater on them just because I mean I just can't take it anymore. So I think Mary, that probably has changed in me in one sense, but you know, anything that's like fantasy sci-fi that I'm really into, I'm just like glued into there. I mean the Harry Potter movies, any of that. I mean I'm just like, my eyes are like a moth on that screen. I'm excited as hell to do the event. I want to dress up in costumes to go to it and everything. So I don't think anything can be worse than like Ralph Bakshi's 1978 you know, Lord of the Rings, where they didn't even finish the trilogy with the cartoons and live animation thing. I remember my friends and I'd be so excited going to the theater to see that, and then go, wait a second, they run out of money or what?
1.5 books? What the heck? What?
So nothing can be as bad as that. So hopefully, you know, they'll do a better production. But, so.
Well, you haven't seen the Rankin and Bass version, have you? It's really.
No, I've seen all of them. I seen the Hobbit, and I saw the Return of the King one. I mean, I recorded that on VHS when it came out, you know, kind of thing. I would like the all the Christmas specials. I would religiously go to the TV when there was only 4 channels in Buffalo, New York, you know, and set everything aside so I could see the Hobbit or Rankin Bass and go through the TV Guide every Sunday newspaper looking for stuff like that. You know, little gems that I wasn't going to see. I mean, the kids are spoiled now. You can just buy it or watch it on YouTube, you know, at this point.
Yeah,
so.
They didn't have to. I was trying to tell Garrett how Overdrawn at the Memory Bank, based on Roger Zelazny's story, is, you know, just... I was so excited about that, and when it came on, I liked it. Now it's, you know, it's done. I mean, it was a Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie, but when it came out, it was like, oh, we don't get stuff like this, you know?
Yeah.
We don't get stuff like this. I wanted that. I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I couldn't even care about the cheesy effects. It was like just seeing that story done and seeing it It was okay. It was a decent adaptation as far as that goes. Not perfect.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Eric, your thoughts on a Silmarillion? Or being open to Hollywood and to role-playing industry?
Uh-oh. You dropped.
I think he's frozen up.
Can anybody hear him?
No.
I mean, it's interesting on the other side as a gamer to say, okay, we might have access to do more,
Hear it
to
out?
put out more.
Yes.
That would be
Okay.
cool. But
Okay, Eric?
Yeah, so the Silmarillion, it's great for role players, I think, obviously, right? But with Hollywood, it's a little bit more problematic because there's so many great visuals in the Silmarillion, right? And it's obviously there's so many stories in it, and they're so huge. Like I feel like you could make, like, now we've got like the MCU, you know, we've got the DC, you know, expanded universe and everything. And, you know, they're trying to do the same thing with Universal Monsters, like have, you know, a whole universe of Universal Monsters. That you could do that with the Silmarillion. Like you could make 20 movies out of the Silmarillion, you know? You could make a trilogy of just invading, you know, like Angmar.
right.
Yeah.
You could do that, right?
Like the Avengers. Yeah, you could do
Yeah.
Avengers series.
Yeah, so like, it's funny because it's all sort of like short vignettes, like in the book, but the stories themselves are so huge, and to some extent, like what with Mary was saying, is the concern would be for me with the Silmarillion is that if you don't do justice kind of to all of it, you lose a lot of context about, you know, what certain stories mean. Like you can be like, yeah, well, now we're fighting, you know, Melkor and we're invading Angmar and all this stuff. But if you don't do everything before that, you're like, okay, well, who is this guy and why is he important and why is he strong, you know? So, yeah, it's. I think the Silmarillion could be super tough in terms of putting it like on the screen, but for roleplay, awesome. Yeah, totally awesome for role players. You know, because you can play a campaign. You know, you can play a campaign like through pieces of through pieces of the world, like pieces of the world history. You know.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's huge. There's so many wars. There's so many times. There's so many places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I mean, like the Lord of the Rings is like this huge trilogy of books and everything. But to be honest, like the Silmarillion is probably the densest of all of Tolkien's works in terms of ideas and stories.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'd love to see him do it right.
Well, yeah, I really would. I just don't have a lot of hope for it. But you know, if they would just see what it has to be done right, that it can't be some let's boil it down to 2 hours. If you try and boil it down to 2 hours, I'm not even going to go and see it. I'm not. I will take a stand there. I won't fucking see it.
Yeah, because you won't get what is necessary to be in there.
I don't need to have a heart attack in a movie theater. That's not how I want to die. Apoplectic and foaming at the mouth. Garrett saw me at each opening of each of the Lord of the Rings films. Afterwards, crying and screaming and kicking as we left the theater. It was not pretty.
And attacking ushers.
I didn't attack them.
You cornered ushers
It's that
and
fake
vented
butter.
to them.
It's the fake butter on the popcorn. It really can change.
No, it's only when they said something that I cornered them.
True.
They made
the
mistake.
They engaged.
They engaged, and they engaged poorly and without forethought, and they paid for it. Just like I
think when it comes to making movies about the Silmarillion, where there's a whip, there's a way. Am I right, guys? Yeah.
You're right.
Nicely.
Heard you guys dog and rank at bats. I was
We don't want to go
there's a whip, there's
to
a way.
war today.
That's a great
What
song.
the Lord of the Lash says, nay, nay, nay.
Classic.
We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. I've never seen it though.
Oh, well.
Okay. So let's wrap up the conversation with final thoughts. Eric.
I think that anything is possible. I think that let me think. I would say I would be cautiously optimistic about the Amazon show. If they get good writers, and I feel like there are good fantasy writers out there, as we see, with Game of Thrones, not necessarily. I'm not talking about George R. R. Martin. I'm talking about the guys who adapt it, to TV.
Yeah, I'm not
cautiously optimistic for Amazon. I think the Silmarillion can be very problematic on the big screen, but I think Silmarillion for role players, that's good stuff. No problems there.
Mike?
I mean, I'm up for whatever they're going to present, but I would like them to present things authentic on the Amazon show. If they could even do some of Tolkien's individual stories and even mix things around, even with some of the romantic relationshiip between characters, and just focus on that for almost a whole episode, that would be good. And some of the back lore and poetry and history, that would be kind of cool if they could add that all together and expound that into an episode. I'd rather see that than see a series of things just starting with but I don't know if they'll do that or not. They'll get Lady Gaga for one episode to bring everyone on board, or are they gonna have Garrett, George, Mike, and Eric be the fellowship that's gonna go every episode to every episode. I mean, I'd be happy with that too. So, but I mean, I'd rather have some pure stuff, and I agree. The Silmarillion, I think it would be nice to have that done in multiple movies, and I agree with Mary. It would be a total travesty if they try to cram it all in 2 hours. It'll be the Ralph Bakshi movie. That's the whole point, is if they try to cram it, you can't cram all that content in 2 hours and tell the story. But I like the feeling that if they could make it into an Avengers type of thing and tell all the individual stories and kind of draw things together from there, you could tell the individual characters' backstories in that and try to bring it all together. That would be kind of really cool.
And George?
Yeah, I guess I'm the sentiments of the others are where I'm at overall. I think if they put the money and the effort, get the right actors, get the right writers, if they take their time, make sure they sense check it with folks like ourselves to make sure that it's true to the legend of the lore, then I think
Mostly
it's
married.
all good.
I'm willing to be an executive producer. Just letting you know.
Well, that's the challenge, right? Is that if they don't have someone representing, the beliefs that Tolkien had, then that's where they'll screw up. So all you can do is hope that they have some invested people of making sure that they stay true to the lore, rather than what moviegoers and television audiences want today.
Yeah.
I'll even accept like food taster at the commissary. So.
But I can't wait for all the dragons. I love the dragons. The more dragons, the better. So I'm all in.
Well, there's a few in there. There's the father of all dragons is in the Silmarillion, so
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
he's a meanie. I think that anybody that wants to produce, write, or direct any form of the Silmarillion needs to read it at least 5 times all the way through.
Yeah,
and
amen.
read the entire Tolkien reader, including
and
Leaf
not
by
be drug
Niggle.
induced or drunk.
And if they don't, then they should give the job to somebody more competent. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if they can't do that for me, then they can't have my money or my time.
I like that attitude. I like that attitude.
And
You
that's
gotta
our
vote with your wallet.
that's our thoughts on Tolkien news. So let's get into the game. What do you guys remember from last time?
Silly goat, 1 goat, 2 goat, 3 goat, silly goat.
Anybody else remember the crazy
Yeah,
goat
I
herder?
remember teaching the goat herder like the song of the whiskey drinking bear. He seemed to
Oh yeah, he liked that.
seemed to like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so did his goats.
And you like goats, so remember?
And what happened before that?
We took a journey with river maidens that changed from like a trout into a woman, and Radagast boat switched out boats. I think Elebrimborn, we came across some of the evil men, and so to kind of avoid conflict and killing, Elebrimborn did his use his new talent of the dancing lights and tricked them all to go out to the woods so that we could just kind of not have to kill them, dodge them. So I remember that part too. I think we fought spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Did we fight spiders?
You fought spiders in Fenbridge Castle.
Yeah, we traveled to Dol Guldur, and we found the parchment and the Elven dagger and the plot for a traitor within the halls of King Thranduil.
That's right. Oh yeah, and didn't somebody get drunk and take off his shirt?
I don't remember that. Was that Sigrid?
I think
Sigrid
I
looks
rolled.
like that kind of character. I think Sigrid was drinking.
I think I rolled an Eye of Sauron while trying to resist some evilness and got a whole bunch of shadow.
Yeah.
But I think I got rid of it, though. I think I then got rid of it there.
Yeah, we were all depressed, and Radagast helped get rid of it for us.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Elebrimborn proved that elves can actually get drunk. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a squirrel moot in 2 years.
That's right.
Squirrel.
I forgot about
We
that.
have that written down.
Yeah. I'll have to get a badge for that.
Squirrel.
And squirrels can smoke.
2 years.
Yeah.
We learned that squirrels
We're on
like
our way
buckwheat.
to the halls of King Thranduil.
You are on your way. You've passed the goat herder. As we zoom in.
Don't forget our party
Oh, you
bennies.
want your party bennies?
Yes, we want our party bennies.
We want your party bennies. Okay.
So if we're gonna travel or do travel rolls, Elebrimborn will sing his travel song, so you can add 2 success dice to your any roll.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and roll your song. So you travel up the Anduin.
Now, how bitter did I sound during that conversation?
You sounded sincere.
17.
Sincerely insane.
Sincere.
17 song.
Okay, so what does that do?
So the travel song will actually, if we do travel, if we are traveling or have to make travel rolls, everyone in the party will be rewarded 2 success dice that they can add to a roll.
Cool.
2 automatic successes?
2 automatic success dice. That's the
Oh.
6-sided.
Okay, so two dice to roll, but not automatic successes.
Right.
Okay.
2 extra 6-sided.
That's a ton of dice.
Yes. So you are traveling up through. Flip through the book. the East Anduin Vales. You come across Pale Rider Caves. You guys didn't remember much about that story last time you were here. It's a short distance from the Old Forest Road. The hills in the area are white and chalky. Old pits scar the surface of the hills where the dwarves and later the Northmen dug for making lime. Some forgotten tribe of Northmen cut the image of a horse and rider into the side of a green hill, and that landmark is visible for miles around. Make a lore roll, everybody.
Touring. That's
With
what I was thinking.
pleasure.
But my brain is so tired, it couldn't.
My lore is good.
I rolled a 12.
What are we
You're rolling lore.
rolling? Lore.
Oh, I rolled a 20 with 2 Tengus.
Mark that down.
24 with 1 Tengu.
Cool. Sigurd and Ella Brimborn. Let's see how Lorith does.
Tango so far. I rolled 17 with 2 tangos.
Okay. You remember some of this, but not all of it. It's been mixed in with legend from people that you've talked to. That tales say that one day the horse and rider will come to life and ride to the aid of the free people. Today, the Pale Rider serves as a dire warning. At the time of the Great Plague, a cruel king ordered that all those infected with the sickness be driven into the caves and walled up, so their sickness might be contained within. The ghosts of the angry dead are said to still haunt the caves, and the woodmen say that the touch of a ghost brings the marks of plague upon its victim.
Oh, that's just...
I cover my mouth with my cloak.
It's the touch of a ghost, specifically.
Okay, so you're traveling on up to the old road, and that's the first part of this travel compet. Roll your travel. It takes 8 days of travel in there. You need to make 2 travel tests as you travel along the forest.
I get extra 2.
Well, you can use this once whenever you want it. You're traveling in easier lands right now, so it's not as difficult.
Oh, okay.
So you can choose when you want to use it.
Okay.
I recommend waiting until you're in the forest itself.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
I must have beefed up my travel.
And it's okay, because I got a Gandalf.
14 with a Tengu.
7
We get 2 additional success dice when we're traveling?
You get to use them. Mike, you use them the whole time, or you use them once during this trip?
I'm going to say it says add 2 success dice to any roll.
So you choose
So
which
it-
of the
okay.
travel.
It's 1 roll.
Okay, so it's like battle dice, for instance.
Right,
Yeah.
so
Right.
you might want to save it
So
for
save it for when you're out of the
time.
nice plushy, as you're traveling through what looks like the Shire, or like a unkempt golf course travel versus traveling through the heart of Mirkwood.
Right.
The
It'd
heart
be
of
nice
Mirkwood
if it was
itself.
every roll, but that'd kind of make it broken.
Yeah.
I have rolled a 16.
You've rolled a 16. You're doing good.
14.
14. You're fine.
I got a 14, and my second roll was a 29
7 in the Gandalf, so you're fine.
with the Tango.
Okay. So make sure you make a mark on your travel, on your skill checks
Right.
for those.
Hmm?
You reach the eastwardly inn, where you have been before.
Where's the Eastwardly Inn on the map?
It's-
Kind of right.
And for the lore roll, right?
And for the Loro, yes.
Oh, I thought we were going across the Old Forest Road.
Eastwardly inn is right about here.
Oh, okay, I'm wrong.
Well, isn't the Old Forest Road farther south, though?
Old Forest Road.
Hey, we were going down the Old Forest Road when we met the...
Oh, you were going to go down the Forest Road?
goat herder. Yeah, I think
No,
we
you
were.
met him in the Vales. You were just traveling north along the side. You were traveling along through here when you met the goat herder.
Okay.
So if the Forest Road does not take you to Thranduil's place, you'd have to cut off into the forest, into the through the marshes and stuff.
I don't know. Am I wrong? I thought we were
The
going down
elf path takes you directly to Thranduil's.
Thranduil's Hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we would have been on the elk path, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Decided we were going to avoid the...
By the Old Forest Road, you do meet Dodias and Donatus. You meet Donatus and Dodias, two hobbits that have started an inn along there.
Nice.
They were our supply for our old Toby.
Hmm.
We got to check out our supplies regarding that. So
And Agatha Brandybook greets you at the door, goes, "It is so good to see you, so good to see you. How are you all doing?"
great. How's business?
Business has never been better. Everybody is traveling and stopping by here, and apparently you've been talking about us. Quite a few people have said that the company of the Whiskey Drinking Bear has sent them our way.
We have.
Mm-hmm. Our goal is to help promote trade between all of our peoples. In fact, we brought things from Roscoble with us, I believe.
Oh, do you have supplies? We will gladly buy them off of you.
And I think we brought some wood with us, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Though we're supposed to trade it with
That's
the
right.
person, right?
You can trade it with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Usually everywhere I go,
It's worth it's worth 10 treasure.
Very nice. Okay.
Do you guys want to talk to people at the inn, or do you want to just find a quiet corner, or what do you want to do?
Oh, I think we're all about talking.
Yeah. Why not talk to people at the end?
We'll try and keep our shirts on today.
I certainly will.
No, let's start a tradition.
I'm pretty sure he had pasties on too, but
Right. Well, that's
I don't
right.
want to go there.
I want to see if we can invent like a rip away shirt or something like that. An Elven rip away shirt as a magic item.
It's been turning green too, so he's kind of hulking up.
Right.
A lot of the traders from crossing through from Lake Town and Dale are talking quite a bit about the wooing of Una of Dorwinion by King Bard. They think that there might be a royal wedding soon.
Excellent.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree.
And are you a barding, my fine gentleman?
Yes, indeed. Proudly.
Do you know the king? Does he know the
do-
king? Does it?
do I know the king?
Do you know King Thrain? Like, does this dwarf know King Thrain? Of course he doesn't. Not every dwarf knows King Thrain.
Well, that dwarf kind of does, but it's a bad example. But I've had an audience with a King Bard. I've had an audience with the Princess Una, and
What is she like?
She is a delightful. She is a delightful woman. She is wise and graceful.
Oh, will she make a good princess? A good queen?
I believe that she will. I believe that she will be she would be an excellent queen if that is who our Lord Bard chose.
Denitus goes, Can you get her to come over here and say that she ate at the Easterly Inn?
Maybe slept there.
I mean, I don't have that kind of pull.
Oh, you could try. You could try.
I could try. You're right. I could try. I will try. I'll try.
All right.
Maybe you could just.
He's going to get the queen
put up
to eat.
a sign that's a little bit more an advertisement that is a little bit more general, like Bardings prefer
the Easterly Inn.
Yes.
Yeah, Bardings prefer.
We're going to need more silverware.
And I think you should make like a special menu item, because I heard when the king actually proposed to the princess that they were roasting a chicken together, and so I think if you can do something like that, put that on your menu.
Yeah, royal roast chicken.
Royal roast chicken. Ooh, what will we braise that with?
Lovebird. The lovebird.
The lovebird?
Right, the
like
lovebird.
this.
Excellent. Right.
Write this down, Agatha. For other conversation, there are some...
another ale, please.
You get another ale delivered to you. There are some dwarves sitting around.
Well, I was hoping to get a sip of yours, actually.
Happy to speak with my kin.
Sure, make a courtesy or a riddle roll.
All right. Courtesy should be fine. Oh. Very good. 16.
Aye, you're a long way from home. You traveling to the Iron Hills, or are you traveling to the Grey Mountains, or are you traveling to Erebor?
We are traveling back towards our home, towards Erebor. My hope is that we can stop at a few places and trade with others. Where have you been lately?
We've been coming from the west. We've been passing over the Misty Mountains. It seems that orcs are creeping south once more from their fortresses under Mount Graham and Mount Gundabad, and travelers in the High Pass are under threats of attack.
I hate those bloody
I don't
orcs.
think those Bjornings are as tough as they say they are.
You didn't happen to come across any goblins, did you?
I don't know if they were goblins or not, but there were arrows plenty.
That's concerning. Did you run into any of our kin out that way as well, or no?
Not in the mountains, but on the road, quite a few caravans heading between the Grey Mountains and the Erebor.
Good. Have you heard of Frar the Beardless?
That old fool?
Yeah, have you met him along your ways?
Nah, he's somewhere running mad in Mirkwood.
Yeah, I just wondered if you ran across him. I know he's trying to open up new paths.
A fool's errand. These roads
are
dwarven made, and they'll last longer than we will.
Yes, but we need these trade routes open. We need our folk, and the others to come together and trade more often. What brings you to these parts?
Trade, actually. We're coming in with some of the ores that we've gotten from the Grey Mountains, and we're bringing them through.
Ah, very good, very good. Did you run into any of the folks from Lake Town when you first started?
No, we have not. We passed through. They're coming from the west.
Yeah, I thought if they came from the Lake Town area or no.
No,
Did
they came
from
from
the Elven Path.
They came from the west. They came from the Bree area.
Oh, okay.
West of Bree, in the Shire.
Okay, good. Well, my name is Thror. How are you?
I'm drunk, which is a good way to be.
That's difficult for a dwarf to do.
It is, but some of this weed that they've got here, I don't know if you've tried it.
It is my favorite. It is my favorite. So, did you happen to bring more with you?
I'm picking up some here right now.
Ah, good, good. Same as we. So very nice, very nice. And where are you headed now?
We're heading to Erebor.
Oh, you are headed back home. Very good, very good.
We're going to try to consult
sometime.
with King Dane or his advisors about what he can do to protect dwarves passing through the Misty Mountains.
Yes, please send him my regards. I am Thror Flamestrike, so I have been newly admitted to his court. So please give my regards when you visit with them.
Do you actually think that the king will actually care about the Misty Mountains? Erebor is so far away from the Misty Mountains.
He is still concerned about Erebor today. But if we can secure Erebor from those threats from the orcs from the north, etc., then he has promised to help us open up new paths as we head west. So it is good.
I don't mean to interrupt. I am Elebrimborn from the kingdom of the Greenwood, and I heard you mention that you had some troubles in the Misty Mountains. What pray tell? I'm eager to learn what knowledge you have of trouble in the Misty Mountains.
Make a courtesy roll.
Uh, 17.
Okay. They respond and go, buy us a drink and we'll tell you.
Oh, by any means, can I recommend something that you may have not tried? And I just
If you're buying, we're drinking.
okay. So I will buy for them.
Okay. Go.
So tell me your tale.
So we were traveling through the high pass when when a whole flock of goblins were upon us and chasing us down the mountains, and we lost one wagon as it went tumbling down into the crevasse. And then there were larger goblins chasing us, and they were yelling after us, "Run, run as far as you want, but go east. The power is going to awaken soon. The master will awaken soon."
What do you think they mean by that? Who's the master?
I'm afraid it means that the dragon is going to wake up.
Which dragon may that be that you're concerned about?
That Smog's ghost will inhabit it, and it will rise as a ghost dragon. And take Erebor back. And what could kill a ghost dragon? And not an arrow.
I don't know. I don't think you should lose sleep over that. We've had no report of any ghost dragons or anything at this point, so it's okay to be cautious, but just curious as to who you might think was the master. I'm sorry for your loss. You said there's a different breed of goblin, a larger goblin that you saw?
It was one of their leaders.
Nothing you've ever seen before.
No. He was huge. He was about 500 pounds and had a crown.
How long ago was this?
Oh, this was just about 2 weeks ago.
Would this be the Goblin King?
I told you it was the Goblin King, but you wouldn't believe me. That pointy hat guy killed the Goblin King. It couldn't be a Goblin King. He's dead.
Should be.
Well, they may have a lot
Interesting.
to do more.
Do they get that fat all the time?
No, they do not. It is very odd. Maybe we should investigate further. We shall see. We are on our way to back home as well. Would you care to travel with us?
That would be wonderful.
Another ale, please.
Another ale for the lady. She's gonna be passed out drunk soon, isn't she?
Don't get any ideas.
Yeah, we're gonna take her gold.
This is my last one. I don't carry gold, sir.
Then what good are you?
I do carry some steel, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
We carry wagons full of steel. Well, we don't carry the wagons. We don't carry the wagons.
Take
We
our
kind
word
of have
for
the
it. She would
don't
not be
have
one
the
you would
donkeys
want
go all the
to mess
wagons.
with.
Well, let's keep this friendly. I'm gonna walk over to the hobbits and see if I can scare up a game of riddles.
Sure. You go up to
Well, I didn't mean you had to focus on me. I just meant
no.
I'm
You go up to Dindy Brandybuck. Role playing riddles. D&D. Okay. He goes, sure, we'll play a game of riddles with you. I have a tail and I have a head, but I have no body. I am not a snake. What am I?
Can anyone answer?
No, it's just Lorith.
Okay.
You can join in on the next round.
Mm.
I have a tail and I have a river.
Nope. A coin.
Ha! Well,
Oh, good one.
good one.
You're going to ask a riddle?
Why is a raven like a writing desk?
Why is a raven like a writing desk? Because it's got quills on it?
No, but that's a good guess.
What is it? What is it?
Answers were to be guessed, not given.
Well, we gave you the answer when you got it wrong.
That's true, you did. And I thank you for it.
Fine, we'll give you another one. What falls but does not break? What breaks but does not fall? Ella Brimborm's approached at this point.
Rain falls but does not break. A storm breaks but does not fall.
Mm-hmm.
Good answer, but not what we were looking for. Night
Your
falls
heart.
and day breaks.
Mm.
A
Sometimes
leaf
there are more
falls
than
and
one
day
answer.
breaks.
That is true. The best of them do. So we'll give you credit for that one. Ella Brimborm, do you have a riddle?
I leave the mountain of Erebor dressed in black for seeking the edge of Mirkwood. When I arrive in Mirkwood, I am clothed in white. Who am I?
Clothed in white.
I leave the mountain of Erebor. You should know this one. You're a dwarf. I leave the mountain of Erebor.
They're
clothed-
hobbits.
What's that?
They're hobbits.
Oh, they're hobbits. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
they're
sorry.
hobbits.
I thought we were still talking to dwarves. Okay,
No,
sorry.
no.
I leave the mountain of Erebor clothed in black seeking the woods of Mirkwood. When I arrive, I am clothed in white. Who am I?
The clouds?
No. I am one of the ravens of Erebor in a snowstorm.
One more? Who or what knows all languages?
It's a who that knows all languages.
Who or what?
Atreus?
Nope.
Books. Books.
Yeah, I think Eric's got it.
Nope.
Dang
No.
you.
What did Eric say?
Books.
You tricksy hobbits.
You can roll your riddle if you want.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to roll my riddle. I got a 12. So I don't
I
know.
got 11.
No.
I got 11.
You don't get it. They go. It's just like when I call. Agatha says it's just like when I call to my husband. He goes, "Hello," and he goes, "Huh? Hello?" And Agatha looks at you and says, "An echo."
Ah,
Nice.
nice.
Well done.
Get around for my friends here on me.
And we need to negotiate some secret business. Secret business. Very
Secret
secret.
business, Tony. I told
Yes.
you weren't going to get into the spy business.
Well, we are secret conspirators of the old Toby, and we are running low. And on the down low, we need to resupply before we head off. You have made many of the free people in Middle Earth happy as we have shared that the old Toby that you've given us before, and we're hoping you have such product or greater that we can purchase from you.
We do.
Excellent.
One treasure will for one person will stock everybody up for an adventure for a fellowship phase.
Let the conspiracy begin.
I don't take any of those because I gave up smoking.
I should be happy to partake in that purchase.
So you're good for about a year.
Very good.
Who's
Did you
eating
have
the, who's
more
eating
that you
the
were
treasure?
willing to trade with our folks at Erebor?
That's true. It's cost you a gold, and in Erebor it'll be worth about 10 gold.
Right. So I'll take our treasure
I mean,
points
10
that we traded
treasure.
for the wood and
Maybe I will take some.
purchase
No,
10 for the trip to Erebor.
She's Marshall. She doesn't do that.
Yep.
So 10 will turn into 100, folks.
Nice.
Excellent. Of course, it's only for medicinal use.
Oh, right.
I found it very meditational when I imbibed, but now I no longer do.
I have this point of shadow, and Celebrimbor needs his medicine.
You know, when you smoke that stuff, it makes your mouth taste like an ashtray.
Yeah, it makes me. I can eat more limbus bread.
Midnight munchies on Olympus.
And now this episode will take the new Hobbit movie to a all new level.
Right. Exactly.
It'll be the mountains of Denver, Colorado.
Well, here it is. Here's the Easterly Inn down here.
It's a good name, the Easterly Inn.
So, you guys spend the night there, and are stocked and resupplied for your journey?
That's what I'll do.
Very
And
good.
You make your way around to the Elf Path, and it's time for traveling along the Elf Path. Dun dun dun. It's 200 miles by foot through Borderlands, so it takes you about 30 days. You must make 5 travel tests.
All right. Well, I'll sing the travel song again. So I got to roll a song roll.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
30 days.
That is
30
a
days. It's
25 with
200
one
miles
tango.
along this path. It's 240
25
miles
with one
along the path.
tengu.
There was an Australian woman who walked around the world some years back.
Mm-hmm.
She kept a comfortable pace of 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, this is the elf path. You're winding around trees and going up and around brutes and
She
things.
walked around the world. It's not like she took all smooth paths. I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is
It's
still
it's in there,
difficult
whatever.
travel.
Okay. Just seemed like a lot.
And it is, because because it's a weird path.
I'm not going to use my extra rolls yet. My extra dice. Uh-oh. That's not good. So my first travel roll.
Remember, you
rolled
get
dice.
you get 2 success dice to add to something, and then anyone who has an Elven cloak gets a re-roll of the
Don't
12-sider.
you know?
Yep.
Oh, good. I get a re-roll of the 12-sider? Good, because I rolled
If you have an Elven cloak,
I rolled the eye of sorrow.
which I believe we do.
Yep.
Yay! That's so good.
Well, only you and I have the Elven cloak.
Yes. Okay.
Oh no, yeah, just us two.
Yeah.
No, I thought I got one when we.
Well, unless she did.
Well, you know,
So,
Is it on your character sheet?
nothing's on my character sheet.
okay.
Nothing's written down for what I do on my character sheet, except for 46 points treasure, which is a lot for somebody like me. Oops, I don't have a list of belongings and crap. So, alright, assuming that I don't get to reroll it, then my first roll was an Eye of Sauron. And
Okay.
6. Do you want me to do the rest of the rolls?
Yep, keep doing the rest of the rolls.
And then you'll tell me what horrid thing happens. Am I supposed to write these down for you or something?
Nope, just tell me what you get.
And the next roll was 11.
Okay, you lose 2 points of endurance. Target's 14.
And that's another Eye of Sauron.
Oh, okay.
And a Gandalf. A Gandalf and 4. So 2 Eyes of Sauron.
2 Eyes of Sauron.
Gandalf,
Sure.
and the 11. So I got 1 left. And that's gonna suck. Because, yeah, this is not going well. Yeah, I rolled 6 on the last roll.
Yeah, you lose 2 points there.
Okay. How lovely.
How did everybody else do?
I made 3 rolls and missed 2.
Okay, so you
with
lose
no
2
Eyes of
points
Sauron.
of endurance.
No. Not my endurance.
Oh, your endurance.
My sweet, precious Endurance.
Yeah,
I
everybody
failed
thinks
one.
insurance is my good
Yep, you lose 2 points.
So I had pretty much all successes. I had a extraordinary success, and then I had 113.
Okay. So you're traveling along. Who's on lookout?
I believe Thor is on lookout. As I have, yeah, lookout is Thor, as I have it written down here.
Thor, make an awareness test.
Oh, okay. I'm usually the guide.
I have it written down as Ella Brimborn is the guide, I am the scout, Thor is the lookout man, and Lorith is the huntsman. Or
I'm
huntsman.
usually the guide because I have more travel.
Oh.
Lorith,
I can be
Lorith is
backup
what?
scout.
Maybe everybody
I have
else
2
is-
awareness. Anybody have more than 2
Yeah.
awareness?
2 awareness.
I have no awareness. That is.
I'm at 2, so that's fine.
You
I can
have
roll.
no
Travel,
awareness.
3.
I think you know what
Hunting,
you need to
1.
pick up.
I have 3 awareness.
Yeah, I do need to pick up awareness.
Yes,
So
you do.
unfortunately for my lookout abilities, I rolled Eye of Sauron.
All right.
Oh, well, you found something.
I was looking out. I was digging for gold again. I don't know why. It seems to be a habit of mine.
All right.
It sure is beautiful in this forest now. We seem to travel it a lot.
Sure.
There's never anything bad in here.
Nope.
No, never.
Definitely not.
Ella Brimborn's always telling us how beautiful it is.
Right, and finally you believe me.
It must be that pipe weed.
We always believe you, Ella Brimborn. We just don't care. No, I like Mirkwood. I have a fondness for it.
There we go. Yeah.
It's a nice place to visit,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't.
Everything
wanna live here.
speaks to me here.
La 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 la.
Christmas comes to Mirkwood.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking we were Smurfs.
This is our Christmas show, and we haven't even had a carol.
That's once you reach Thranduil's house.
Better start writing. Like,
There is an opening volley that you do not get to partake in.
Mm.
And that volley takes the part of hounds that are sick on you.
Hounds.
what?
Hounds with volleys.
You mean takes the form of?
Yes, the
I'm
volley.
sorry, I'm just not understanding.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
they don't have bows and arrows, so they can't do that. So they're running a bunch of outlaws, ambush you in the forest, and they are going to use hounds on you.
Mm.
What kind of hounds?
Hounds that have been raised in the woods. So they're about 2 feet high, 4 feet long.
Mickey could take them.
Like Irish wolfhounds.
Yes.
Mickey, come help us. No.
Ella Brimborn, are you going to speak with him?
3.
Yeah.
I mean, speak to the animals. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know that they'll listen to me.
Tell them to stop
Us.
attacking us.
Damn, in my other game, I'm a Beastmaster. I could take care of this.
Sigurd, you are attacked 11 versus your parry.
My
Oh.
parry. Well, I'm not in a stance.
Right,
so
you're
my
not in a
parry-
stance yet.
My parry is only 6 without a stance.
So you are hit by the dogs, and you take 4 points of damage.
No.
Mr. Thor, they sick you with their hounds. They get a Gandalf, so that's an automatic miss. As you're able to duck out of the way of that. Elebrimborn, they release hounds on you.
Sing at him. Oh, he can't yet.
18 versus your parry.
Oh.
Were they? Oh, I don't. What stance am I taking?
You're not in a stance because you didn't see. You were ambushed.
Then they failed.
They failed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have a 19 with my parry.
Okay.
Wow, how come I've got such a shitty parry?
How'd you get it that high?
Well, like if I take a rearward stance.
No,
right?
you're not in. You don't get the stance bonus.
Oh, no stance. All right, my parry's only 7. So.
Okay, so you get hit for 4 points of damage as a hound bites into your leg. Lorith, you're attacked. 6, 8, 11, 15 versus your parry. 4, so 4 points of damage to you. There is a man here who goes, "Come, part with your treasure, and we will let you go on your ways." I see that you are traveling with wagons that are loaded with goods. Let us take our fair share from there, and we'll consider this even. I give you my word.
How many of them are there?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus their leader.
So
I am
outmatched.
as Garibald Kinslayer. I give you my word.
Kinslayer? That's quite an inauspicious name.
It is a horrible mark that I have earned from tragic circumstances that have forced me into the life of banditry.
And you seek to compound that?
I seek to survive.
No one is forced into a life of banditry. That vile life has been chosen.
I have been forced into this life of banditry.
Well, I hope to force you out of it very soon.
So, you guys choose your stances.
Balls out.
I am Thror Flamestrike. Prepare to die.
So, Laura, you're going... So, Sigurd, you're going forward?
No, I am going to go open.
Open. And Lorith, you're going forward?
I'm going berserker.
Elebrimborn?
Rearward.
Okay. And Thror?
I will be defensive against the large dogs.
Okay.
Has everyone been hit by large dogs thus far? Or was this
Except for
Elven
Thror,
Kingdom?
who they rolled a critical failure against.
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess so. If a dog is bitten me, I guess I can't escape from him. Correct. So I should probably.
Well,
attack him with a sword.
they're considered an extension of the character. They're pretty much on leashes.
Okay.
It wouldn't be so much on leashes as attack and pull back.
Yeah, attack and pull back. So we start with Lorith going berserker.
Who am I closest to?
There are 3 people surrounding you.
Gerhard?
Gerhard is in the back.
That chicken shit. Well, I'll go against one of the nearest one to me.
Okay, you go against the nearest one to you.
That's promising. That's also good. That's also good. That's also good, but not as good. And that is excellent. Okay, let's see. 29 with a Tengu to hit.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that's your damage plus your body.
Alright. My damage is 7 plus my body is 8. So that would be 15.
15 points of damage. Whoa. You've drive your sword onto him and run it clean through. He falls back. He hits the ground in the mud, and he pulls himself slowly to his feet as you can see intestines and things dangling out of him. You got him down to like 1 hit point. That is Lorith. Sigurd.
I am going to attempt to rally my comrades by saying, "Forward, comrades! Beat back these varlets and bandits and highwaymen." That is 11, 14, 15 with a Tengu.
Excellent. So what does that do?
That will the success is 14, so that is a great success, which means everyone gets 3 endurance points back.
Sweet.
Oh yeah.
You get 3 endurance points back from the rally.
Nice.
That was Sigurd. In defensive, it is Thror.
Alright. Thror will step up here, and I will hit the one to my left. Very good. That would be 10, 20, 28 with the Tengu.
That's a great success, yeah.
It's body plus damage, so my damage is 10 plus 6, 16 damage.
16, not quite as much. Oh no, that is one more than Lorith did, and that is exactly the number you need to make him, to hit him alongside the head so that he falls and does not get back up.
Very good.
What does the little favored number mean above like body and all that?
Favored?
Yeah.
That is if you are using a skill that is underlined.
Okay.
And then you spend a point of hope on to use that. You use your favored attribute instead of your normal attribute. And Ella Brimborn.
All right, I'm going to do a called shot on the Kinslayer and right his wrongs. All right, so that would be a 21 with a Tengu.
21 with the Tengu, great success.
All right, so he has to make a. It's a piercing blow, so he's got to do a protection test.
Protection test. His armor is 2d plus 2, because he has a shield. Whoa. 21. Extraordinary success.
Nice. So I just do my regular damage, right?
Regular damage, as he puts a shield up and it goes through the shield and hits him.
Okay. So that would just be 5.
5 points. 20, so he's at 15. Alright. It's their turn. He's done. These two go after the dwarf, because the dwarves are rich pickings. They go with the sword. That's the 3. 12.
Was Liesel shouting, Mike?
August is shouting that Ohio State just scored a touchdown.
13 plus 5. That's 18 versus your parry.
Who's this?
Against Thror.
Oh.
I have a 5 parry, so.
You get your stance bonus. So that's a 17, so it's an 18, so that you get hit. The sword does... I got 1 attribute success for 3. You take 8 points of damage as the sword clings into your shoulder.
Alright.
That was the first guy. Second guy comes after you.
Where are our billy goats?
18, that hits you again. This one only does 5 points of damage.
Alright.
This guy goes over to here. This guy, so 2 go on to Lorith, 1 goes on to Sigurd. Berserker Lady scares them, so they need to worry about that. 8 plus 5 is 13. 1, 14. What's your parry?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were talking about 4.
14 plus 6 is 20. What? 4, okay. So 4 plus 6 is 10. Like hits you. There's no great success on there, so you take 5 points of damage as the first guy manages to pierce your leg with the sword. Second guy comes at you, trying to hit you from behind. 23 is going to hit you, and you take another 5 points of damage as you are stabbed from behind.
Oof.
Sigurd, you are attacked by the bandit. $13 versus your parry.
My parry is 6.
So that misses you. Yeah. And the rallying cry from Gerbo Kinslayer says, "My men, this is our forest, and we shall not fail. We shall be greatly successful here, and make these dogs pay."
He's trying to counter my rallying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great success.
He had Radagast. He could give them fleas.
So he gains 3.
I'd rather give them worms, as in the things that crawl through their corpses.
13.
But fleas would be funny.
So,
They wouldn't attack. They'd just be chewing on themselves.
So they're up to there. Do you want to change your stances?
Nah, I might as well.
Not at this time.
Yeah, I'm good as it is.
I'm good. Stay where I am.
Okay, Lorith.
Who's the nearest one now?
There's 2 surrounding you.
Well, the one that just hit me.
One that hit you from the front or the one that hit you from behind?
The one that hit me from behind.
Okay.
This is not going well. What was the extra 3 things we got? Oh yeah, we got 3. Never mind. Ah, there we go. Alright, so that is 18 with the Tengu.
18 with the Tengu. Great success. As you whirl around on him, bring that blade crashing down on him, on his head. Make a... What's your damage? And add your body.
It's the same. It's always the same. It's 15.
And you drop him. There's a splattering sound as his skull's cleaved in 2, and he drops. So that brings us to Sigurd.
All right, I will attack this guy right in front of me with my mighty blade. Oh, that's good. That is 1922.
Any 6s?
No, sir.
No?
So
Okay.
that will be 7 damage.
7 damage. 16. 9. Okay. weakened down as you manage to stab him in the chest, but not in anywhere vital. Sigurd, so Thror.
Thror will hit the one to his north. And that hits with edge for 10, 26, 29, and a Tengu.
With edge. Alright, so that's...
Injury is 18.
8 plus 4 is 12,
Oh.
plus 2 is 14, plus 2 is 16. He missed it by 2.
Mhm.
So that's the one above you, and describe it.
I simply bring my swing through right across his jaw, and his jaw basically cleaves away from the rest of his body, and he falls limp.
That poor man.
Ella Brimborn?
I will try to watch his tactic of raising the shield and do a better job to try to fake him out this time in the release. Act like I'm going to release it, but actually release it later in a later point and try to hit him again with another called shot. Try to
Go
do
for
better. I did not get a Tengu, so that'll be a miss.
Okay, shot miss. There are 3 guys left. Guy on Thror attacks.
What about the guy that had 1 hit point?
That was the guy that you got. He went up to 4 hit points and you took him out. They're going to unleash. He's going to back off a little and use his hound on you, Lorith. That's 17 on you. 17 versus your parry. That's going to hit. So from the hounds bite you, that's 4 points of damage. We'll use a hound on Sigurd too, as it goes after you. That misses you. As the dog leaps and you are able to keep him at bay with your weapon. And Thrower. Eye of Sauron. That's a piercing hit.
Uh-oh. Alright. 3D plus 4. A Gandalf with a Tengu.
Nice. However, you will take from this attack 4 plus attribute of the guy 7 points of damage.
7. Uh-oh. I am weary.
What does weariness do?
That means your 1s, 2s, and 3s on your 6-sided dice count as zeros.
Mm-hmm.
When do you get weary?
When your endurance falls below your fatigue.
Yeah, we agreed I don't really have the number, so we still have to figure. Okay.
Yep. I just haven't printed the new sheet out.
Yeah.
So that is... so... Big boss guy goes in after Elebrimborn, who's been trying to take him out.
Excellent. That's kind of... I was going to move up to him, so... It worked.
Now you can carve him up hand to hand.
He comes
Right.
in swinging the sword around. He goes, I survived the werewolf of Mirkwood, and I will survive you. And he gets a Gandalf. Critical miss.
Sweet.
As you basically punch him in the face before he gets to swing.
Sweet.
The next round, who wants to change stances?
I'll change to open.
Ella Brimborn wants to change to defensive
Yep.
and draw his longsword.
Cool.
I'm in open.
I will remain in open.
Okay. Lorith, go for it.
Whoever's near me. Okay, that's 22 to hit.
Oh, that hits. How much damage?
Do I have my body to that?
No, unless you got a 6.
I did. I got a tango.
Okay, so add your body.
Okay, so 15.
15 points of damage. And you drive your sword through him, and he drops to the ground. That was Lorif. So, Sigurd.
I'm going to, seeing that Thor is feeling weary, I am going to rally my comrades once again. I will say, rise, friends! Rise! The tide is with us! Strike fast and true, and we will be victorious.
And we get a few points.
We see what he does.
14. So that is a regular success, which is 2 endurance for everyone.
2 endurance.
Sweet.
Very good.
Does that, George, does that take you out of weariness?
Only if I drop my helm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Close.
That was Sigurd. So, Thor.
Or will attack. Alright, so I got 2 Tengu and a 9, so I got Edge.
Oh.
So that's 9 and 12, 21. Oh, and 4, so 20, 24. Yeah, 24 with 2 Tengu.
24 with 2 Tengu. Rolls.
Injuries 18.
They got 16, so it's no good. You've managed to drive that Matic and crack his ribs to where through it to his lungs, and he can't breathe and falls over.
Very good.
Ella Brimborn, you are engaged with the leader, Gerbo.
All right. I pull up my sword and I said, "You blackguard, I will cut that forked tongue from your poisonous throat. Don't ever start negotiations by attacking an elf in his home, Greenwood. You shall pay for your
Well, we have
foul
built a
words."
home here.
Let's hope I rolled well. All right.
Time you get to call somebody a blackguard is good.
Right. A 20 with a Tengu.
Ooh.
20 with a Tengu hits, adds your body to your damage.
Okay. 12.
Whoa. He is still standing, but he's weary as you sliced him pretty good. Blood is coming out of his mouth.
Down on your knees and call your men off.
I don't even have that many left.
It looks like most of my men are already on their knees.
Call your man off. Is the one.
I think there are no men.
On his turn, he is going to fall back to rearward position to prepare to retreat. And the only other person up is attacking Sigurd. He gets an Eye of Sauron on you.
Oh,
Make a protection test, Sigurd.
gladly. We'll see if you can pierce my mithril shirt, buddy. Probably not.
Guys.
27.
Yeah, that's a good protection test right there. You still take 5 points of damage from the stab.
Okay.
And that's the round. Who wants to change stances?
I will move to forward.
Yep.
Staying open.
I'm gonna move to forward too.
I will move to forward as well. I'm running after that guy.
Okay. Thor, you're first.
Okay, I will go up and attack him.
All right. Z's fallen back.
All right, very good. I got 2 Tengu, 2 5s, so that's 22, 23. No edge, 23, but 2 Tengu.
23 with 2 Tengu. That hits. Add double your body to the damage.
All right, so my damage is 10 plus 12, 22 damage.
22 damage. Describe. How do you want to do this?
He turns to me as he's starting to run away, and he sees that I catch up to him, and my mattock just thuds straight into his chest and lands, and he falls down to the ground. And I said, "Were you prepared to die?"
And he looks at you and goes, "Honestly, no." And then he dies.
I pull some dried meat out of my pocket and throw it away for the dogs and say, "You deserve better masters. Go."
There's one guy's left still.
Oh, I forgot.
Ella Brimborn.
There's one guy.
I will try to intimidate him and just say, you need to give up this life of banditry, of innocent people in the woods, and go find yourself a career where you can do an honest wage for honest life.
Roll your on.
Or fall by our blades. So I'll do a roll, which I'm very bad at. Not really, really bad, but pretty bad. That's a 6.
Yep, he didn't even hear you. I'm a little busy over here. Don't have time to consider my vocational changes. That was Ella Brimborn, so Sigurd.
I'm going to do the same thing. My aw's not so good, so I will be using battle. And I will say, "You're busy getting on your knees or dying. It's up to you." Sorry, my alarm. Okay. Ooh, 15 with the Tengu.
15 with the Tengu takes away 2 of his hate points. So he is down to 1 hate point. That brings us to Lorith.
Is he close?
Yep.
Easy
Time to
pickings.
chop him. He had his chance.
He did have his
I
chance.
might
He
not
had
be
2
his best
chances.
ranger in the world because I'm not that merciful, but they did attack us with dogs. 19 with the Tengu.
19 with the Tengu. Damage plus your body is?
15.
15. And how do you want to do this?
Just straight.
And his head goes rolling at Sigurd's feet.
And now I take dried meat out of my
Aha.
pocket and I throw it to the dogs and I say, "You're deserving of better masters. Go."
Yep.
So they have horses and shit?
No, they don't. They were on foot.
Plus, we're traveling with wagons, right?
Yeah.
With a dwarves.
I thought. Okay.
We were going to travel together with them, right? Or
Yeah.
you thought we had.
Yeah,
So
we're with the dwarves.
So you've traveled about thus far through here.
Well, I vote we move along the road a bit away from this area and then take a short rest.
Who's the guide?
I'm the guide.
Who's the guide?
Oh, I am.
Okay. Make a travel roll for me.
Okay. Travel roll. So 9, 19, and 4, 20. No Tengus.
20 no Tengus. You catch it at night as a bunch your supplies. You put them down near a tree where a whole lot of spiders and centipedes are trying to climb into your provisions bags.
Mm.
And you catch it and move your food out of the way.
Okay. I'll light it. I'll light a torch and scare the rodents away.
Oh yeah, and
With
we
my
probably
fire-making.
piled the bodies first before we left, and you know.
I actually had a 23.
Okay. Make sure you mark that down.
Throw one of their cloaks over them.
Alright, so you managed to reach Thranduil's halls. You reached there and see the hidden entry, yeah?
And we rested immediately, right? Got
Oh, yeah.
Our,
I'm sorry.
Gerhard Kinslayer's dagger to give to Thranduil and say, these bandits claimed the domain in the forest and we've gotten rid of them.
Let's do healing. Everybody within the hour gets endurance equal to your heart score back.
Oh, nice.
I can do healing as well.
Good.
Yeah, we didn't pick party focus either. We forgot to do that at the beginning.
Yeah.
But that's not a big deal. I think all of us got injured, right?
Yeah, but nobody got wounded.
Oh, okay.
Well, I still have...
Does anybody want heal
oh,
that
yeah.
first night? Or
I'm
use
good.
healed.
Yeah, I've got a lot of
With
heart.
all of Sigurd's help, I was greatly improved.
So I got a 14 with 1 Tengu on the first, whoever needs it.
Okay.
I am actually
Going
full
first.
right now.
Oh, is everybody full? Well, then I healed myself.
No, I'm not full. I've got like
Oh, okay. Then I got a 14
10
with the Tengu for you.
11 points of damage. Well, damage is the same thing as loss of endurance, right?
Yes.
Okay, so because I was already down 1, so I'm still after all the other stuff. I'm still have a 10, 11 points. So how much
I
did
know.
I get?
Try some healing on myself.
Getting better. Page
And
144.
that was a 21 with the Tengu.
All right, I took up Mary's challenge that this was our Christmas episode and wrote a short song poem to basically give information to King Thranduil about the spy. So it's in hidden language.
It's in the forest.
It's based on the one stanza or the first verse that they know Tolkien wrote a poem called Noel in 1936, and I adapted it off those 4 lines.
Nice.
Okay, before you do that, the heal skill is really to treat people who are wounded so that they heal at a normal pace. It doesn't provide extra endurance points back to them.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine.
So healing.
Yeah, it's but mostly to treat a wound. It doesn't.
So how do we get back all this damage?
You get back this damage. An uninjured hero recovers 2 endurance points plus the number of points equal to his heart rating. After every prolonged rest you enjoy, you depends. After every rest you get, long rest, at the end of the day, you get 2 endurance points plus the number of points equal to your heart rating back.
So it's still going to take me like almost 2 days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the rest of the travel. So it's still, that happens during the montage of travel.
Alright, so I can wipe it away is what you're saying.
Yeah. As I treat...
And I observe the whole weariness thing just in case, is, like the
Okay. Do you want to sing the song when you get to King Thranduil's place?
Once we get an audience with them.
Okay, so you reach the gates there. What do you say, Hillbrimborn? To the fellow guards?
The original verse by Tolkien, which is Noel, this is the original verse, but grim was the world and grey last might. The moon and the stars were fled. The hail was dark without song or light. The fires of the fallen dead. That's the only part that's been released of that poem called Noel by Tolkien. So this is what Celebrimbor, he's trying to reveal kind of in a secret language because he knows there might be a traitor and wants to kind of divulge it to King Thranduil kind of in a mysterious song. Grim was the world with the traitors in our midst, the darkness and light of sun and moon eclipse. Like a brandy buck, we must remove the offensive weed and sing of the free people's victories and deeds. In the warmth and the shelter of the greenwood, we are safe from storms of winter or the touch of a wraith. But those who betray our people instead shall be discovered and join the fallen dead.
Nice.
Fa la 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 la.
La la la. I don't know if elves, we like to dance.
King Thranduil calls you into a private council with him and Legolas.
All right, all of us, or
Just him or
Celebrimbor.
okay.
just Celebrimbor alone?
Yep.
Okay.
You are in an encounter with them.
All right.
So you're.
I don't remember. Mike doesn't remember all the details, but I discussed with him.
First of all, what is your wisdom score?
3.
Okay, so 3 is plus your elf friend there, so that's 4 plus another 5. 5 you can get 5 failures before the encounter is over. So you need to begin by doing an introduction, whether you want to try to use awe, courtesy, or riddle to do your introductions, your greetings.
All right. I will, because I did the kind of poem song, I'll try riddle.
Okay. What do you say?
Just that, like I said, through the actual poem, that there's a concern that there's a darkness or a taint of our own people within our midst that is basically trying to destroy us from within. I gained knowledge of this when we were down south in Dol Guldur. I can't even say that.
All right, make a riddle roll.
14.
That's a success. So, what evidence do you have that you find of this?
Again, I don't remember specifically me, Mike, the character, as to.
There was a note on there. There was that detailed the current defenses of Thranduil's Kingdom,
that's right.
and all that.
Right. Yeah. So we found a document that basically, divulged of everything with only someone that was within our midst would know our numbers and our defenses and all this. I mean, I assume we still have the document that I can present to them, or.
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
I thought you sent the parchment to him by Raven.
Yeah, you did.
And then,
all right.
But you have the dagger, the elven dagger.
All right. So yeah, present that too, and see if they know who may have possessed this dagger, that it's famous enough to know who the owner, was it gifted to somebody or whatever.
These
but
are
ask them if
these
they received
daggers.
The document.
These
ask
daggers.
them if they received the document from the Raven.
We have received the document from the Ravens, indeed. These daggers we give to elf friends. So they are not usually used by our guard or by our ranks, but they are usually used by or given to those who have earned our trust in some regard, much as your friends have.
Yes. Well, I don't believe it is anyone that is traveling with me. However, it is possible, but I doubt it. Before we've been together this whole time, and does not appear to be their writing or anything on these documents.
Make a persuade roll.
Nine.
I would check their possessions. Make sure that they have not lost off something. Have they been with you the entire time over these last few years? Have they traveled on their own? Are you certain you know exactly where they've gone?
That is we have split apart at times for during fellowship phase, but I believe it's not a person in my midst. We have to think outside of some other outsider who's come through our kingdom, who's gained our favor. I do not believe it's people I travel with. They've acted in the most noble of appearances.
Those I've known many who've acted in the most noble of appearances, and have fallen in their proven of character when the time comes to show it.
Is there no one else? Rather than accuse my own people within my fellowship.
There are many out across Middle Earth. Bjorn has such a dagger. The wizards have such a dagger.
Well, I will watch the people in my fellowship.
King Bard has such a dagger.
Yes, I don't believe it would be him either. I don't believe that at these times that the other kingdoms, the free kingdoms, would conspire against us. But I guess I think the good of
it may not even
people.
completely be them. It could be someone who is trying to make us believe that it is them. But if we could find out who's missing the dagger, then we could know where the person is based, who actually did this.
Then I guess I believe I would need to know or have a list of names or people that, like you have mentioned, that have received that as a gift, and we can question people from there.
I will have Legolas and Ruitho work on putting together such a list for you. Our memories go way back.
I am sorry to trouble you with this news, but I do not want to see our own kingdom fall from within.
I do not want to see it fall from within. But I'm going to have to pull back some of the treaties that I've made with the Bardings. I'm going to have to be careful with the woodsmen and protect our people first and foremost. There is a force from without, and I have to be very careful of who I let in.
Well, but I think I think we should be fearful of. I think we only need to be fearful of basically the people that are in the south of Mirkwood.
Tell me of these people.
Well, of the area of Tyrant Hill, I believe it would be
Legolas's face snarls into an evil. He's obviously heard about them before.
We have encountered them, and they've gone well, extending well without the reach of their territory. You're probably well aware of that they are becoming common bandits and thugs in the woods. We've come across them many, many times, and this is not something that we have come before. They've become very cocky in their ways and don't honor our ways and our sanctity of the woods. They think that this is just their land to pirate, and it all stems from Tyrant Hill. I think that would be one of the first people, and possibly theft of a dagger from someone who is our ally. I don't know that it is your wisdom, King. You have been here and in these matters longer than I, but I don't believe that we should, excuse me for suggesting this, but that we should, this is a time where we should rally around our allies rather than seek to isolate them from them. They could be the aid that basically helps us discover who is the traitor.
Row inspire.
Mm, 13 with a Tengu.
Want to spend a point of hope?
Yeah.
Legolas says, Tyrant's Hill is of darkness in this forest. Just when I thought that the spiders were the worst that there could be, I've seen what the men of Tyrant's Hill are capable of. I do not like them. And it gave me a very poor understanding of what humankind is like.
My concern is they are getting stronger and gaining more power, and there is more evil, and the shadow creeps ever darker in the southern border of our forest. I have witnessed it firsthand. It seems to strengthen, and there's rumors of a werewolf and a vampire that we hear. No evidence of that yet, but the rumors are there, and we've heard of the wraiths.
The werewolves are real. The werewolf of Mirkwood has been around for a long time, and usually been confined to the mountains of Mirkwood. Our scouts have recently seen that he has begun moving southward, and that the construction of the dwarf to build the road has become hindered by the werewolf's presence. I would be worried for the people of Sunsteed. That's the people to the east of Mirkwood. They are in an area that that the werewolf might break into.
Do we know this individual's name?
The person in charge of Sunsteed is Seowyn. You've met him before.
Oh no, the werewolf.
Nope.
Do we know of their name or identity?
Nope, just the werewolf of Mirkwood. They say the werewolf of Mirkwood is unkillable. That if you slay the body of it, it appears again hours later. And it remembers it's everyone who brought it down in one form or another. If you wish to die quickly, they say, kill the werewolf of Mirkwood, and you will die soon. The vampires are also a true threat. They also dwell in the mountains of Mirkwood, but they have been asleep for many age of the ages.
Well, we do know that the men of Tyrant Hill and the werewolf are basically some true threats to us. I mean, I will have to talk to my fellowship and see if that's something that they want to go forth and deal with. We are now seeking to pass further east to the kingdom of to Erebor and to Lake Town to talk to King Bard as well. Is there any messages that I can pass on from you to them as your emissary to that area?
Tell him to seek his dagger, and make sure that we have given him, and make sure that nobody around is able to get within taking of it. Even the woman that he fawns after now. She is still, her role in all of this is still to be determined.
I will, my lord.
Go then, and be merry in my halls while you can. I sense a change is coming.
You are true in your wisdom.
And you return out to your companions.
All right, so I come out to everybody and just say, hey, I talked to the king, made him aware of the of what we found out, and we need to find out potentially who is basically missing their dagger out of the people that are the elf friends, and that potentially is the person who is the traitor. If it was stolen from one of those individuals, that could be where the traitor is originated from. But explain that dagger is only given out to special people, and one of our goals will be to try to figure out who is missing their special gift from the kingdom of Mirkwood.
Well, I'm hurt. I didn't get a dagger.
We can have this one.
Wow.
Word of that reaches Legolas, who presents each of you with a dagger and says, "Many apologies. There were other things that I was concerned about at the time that you were made elf friends. Nominally returning to my full strength after being in a coma."
Legolas, thank you. I totally understand missing this from the normal way that you would treat an elf friend, but please take heed that we are truly your elf friend. We would and have done anything for you to keep you safe and the kingdom safe. We want you to be a friend of the dwarves, and we respect all that you can bring and what we've done together since the battles of the five armies are so important to us that we definitely want to continue that friendship.
Even though clearly Thranduil's never going to step down, leaving Legolas in the charge.
Well, they live a long time.
I wasn't saying that in reality, of course, in character, out of character. But that's funny.
So I'm like Chewbacca. I don't get the medal. I don't get the dagger.
No, you're already an elf. You can't be an elf friend if you're an elf.
Ruitho approaches Lorith. He goes, I heard the news. The ravens brought the information. Somebody out from Dol Guldur, they know our defenses. They know our plans. Is there any way to truly keep this kingdom safe? Or is it too late for us?
As long as people have hope and courage, it's never too late.
But the information is out there. The enemy has it.
Well, then all that's left is to confound them by making some changes and being vigilant.
And that's what I will do. I will convince Thranduil that we need to throw out 2,000 years of contingency plans and start from square one. I don't think that I will be resting anytime soon.
I'm sorry for this.
So am I.
But better that we knew, that we found what was known, than that you found out that you had been betrayed at the point of a sword.
Very true. Very true, she says, and walks away. And the guy's singing about the dancing squirrels and stuff, and she just looks at him and says, please stop, and walks on past him.
Before she walks past, though, I overhear and I stop her and say, you do have friends in the kingdom of the dwarves. If we can offer any of our expertise in being able to help fortify your home, we are more than happy to do so. My kin are not far from here. I can speak with them to see if they can come and aid you as well.
No offense, Thor, but how do I not know that it was the King Dane's dagger that wasn't taken? How do we know that it wasn't from Erebor that this whole thing started?
If you recall, our kingdom has been helpful to you to this point, and we have saved Legolas. Do you forget so quickly?
I don't forget quickly, but I know that there can be a bad one within an entire nest.
'Tis true. And it could be in your nest, my nest, any of our nests. And I believe there is one, but we should not doubt who our true friends are. You know who we are. And if I put my faith in someone, you should trust that as well.
And so I will. However, you will find different defenses next time you arrive. And she looks over at Lorith.
Very good.
And this is how the enemy wins, by making us doubt ourselves and those we trust the most. It's always wise to be vigilant, but our instinct can tell us who is a true man and who is not. In the important moment.
It is, and that's why I'm speaking with you. Because how can I not know that it wasn't a ranger?
It would be most unusual.
It would be, but not completely impossible.
No, pressures can be brought to bear on anyone with enough work. However, those who choose to remain disenfranchised are less likely to be affected by the conceits of the enemy. We won't be taken in again.
See that you don't. And she heads off to meet with Thranduil and Legolas to work on new plans.
Yes. I was going to ask Legolas if he was quite recovered. But I guess he probably doesn't have time to give me another archery lesson right now.
They're a little busy right now.
Yeah.
So what do you do next?
I believe we rest. Get our strength back before we head out.
Yeah.
Yep. You can stay as long as need be. Recover your points.
And while we're, while we're around, we do try and speak with others, see if there's any potential information that someone can give away about any elf friends that may have passed through the halls of Thranduil in the last several months, and see if we can collect some names of those who may have visited.
I tell them that, they are going to work on a list of names of people that received the daggers for us as well. But I think, knowing what people came through as well would be helpful.
Especially anyone that's brought anything in new for trade or has made an appearance and has been overly generous.
Yeah.
The woodmen have been tried to be very generous lately. We've mostly dealt with Gerald the Runner, elderly chap by human ages, but still pretty impressive as far as how much traveling he does. And
is he here now?
He is not here now. He runs between mostly all the Woodman Town and Roscobo.
In what ways has he been too generous?
The Woodman people in general have been very generous. Trying to establish trade with us and assure us that they're not trying to tear down the forest. They see the conflict that we have with those in Dale, and they're trying to build relations with us and also get us to help keep an eye on the forest roads, since they now have Sunsteed to the east, which is closer to us than to any of their provinces.
Interesting. But of course it does make sense that they would want to have good relations with you at this point.
Man is fickle. You can't judge one generation after the next. They always have to learn from their failures.
Learning from your failures is a good thing to do.
It is. But it's annoying to see them have to do it over and over and over.
I suppose it must be.
So we ask around about Gerald the Runner, who he's spoken with, who he hangs out the most with within the halls of Thranduil.
He mostly hangs out with the bard, who does the singing.
Okay. We'll try and get the bard drunk one night and see if we can loosen his tongue.
That does not take any effort whatsoever.
Musicians.
We ask about Gerald the Runner and what his opinion of him is, and what has he spoken to him about. Try and make him uncomfortable at times by almost saying things like, are you in league with him in some way? Are you plotting something, trying to get him off guard, or reveal anything?
Make a riddle roll.
Okay. Did not make it with an 11. Does a point of hope help?
That'll add your your heart score.
My wits. Yeah.
Your wits.
So that would be a 16.
16, sure.
Mm-hmm.
He is still very much in awe of the woodland realm and feels very trapped in there since he's used to open spaces and traveling a lot. I think he has more relationship with the wayward elves as they are out there, especially Eothel.
Eothel?
Eothel.
Do we know about Eothel?
You have dealt with him before. When King Thranduil, there was an attempt by the spiders to kidnap King Thranduil. Eothel you encountered and basically said you should not be, warned him that you should not be welcomed in King Thranduil's kingdom, that you would be the doom to his kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any information about Gerald, though, in general?
Information about Gerald. I'm sorry, it's not Gerald, it's Fridwald.
Fridwald. Okay.
Fridwald the runner. Fridwald is a wirily old man who serves as a chief messenger and runner between the three woodman settlements of Mirkwood since too many years to count. Despite his advanced age, he is still hale and hearty and knows the paths of the forest better than anyone else. When the folk of Woodman Town do not go to Radagast for counsel, they turn to old Fridwald. With him is his nephew Munderick, a lazy boy of 10, who Fridwald is vainly trying to convince to be a messenger for the woodmen also.
What was the boy's name?
His name is Munderick.
Munderick.
He's 10.
10, he's already got to have a job.
Very good. I'll try to pick up some candy while we're in the halls of Rainbow.
Oh, there's candy. The best.
Some licorice. That's it.
Well, that Eothandil, the elf, was kind of a dissenter that wanted to basically, have everyone separate from the other free people and blame everybody else and just stay within the Elven Kingdom, just protect the elves and not have concern for any of the other free peoples, just isolate the Elven Kingdom from the rest and let everyone else just suffer. That was that guy's
The Great Wall theory of foreign policy.
But I don't know why he would want to destroy his own kingdom then. So.
Mm-hmm. Did we get any impression about the bard being dishonest or evasive or?
No, not at all. He's make an insight check.
Okay. Check my insight. Yeah. I got a big 7.
You get a sense he's too trusting.
Okay.
Anyone who tells him a good story becomes his friend.
Okay. We tell him a great story about a whale.
I got 16.
You get a sense that he
Whale of a
is
story.
very open, but he's kind of got a little senility
Uh-huh.
to him.
I can make
but he's also was a warrior in the first age, and he's beginning to tire of the land. And he's been fighting it off, and he's been fighting his depression off for a while. Yeah. That's why when he wrote the 128 verses to the Dancing Squirrel song, it was a big deal to him because it was the first beautiful fun thing that he'd created in many, many years.
And did the bard indicate if there were any other people that Frigwald had been speaking with?
Not really. He'd mostly been running errands, so he checks in with Ruitho, and if it's an important thing or of courtly importance, like a gift, he meets with Legolas. Thranduil doesn't really deal much with him.
All right. And we'll ask about any enemies of Thranduil here recently that have been more outspoken in public or anything like that.
He says, I think you've dealt with all of them.
Okay.
Whites and spiders.
All right.
And they're in the heart of Mirkwood if you dare to go there. Though I've heard that there's been problems. One of the things that Fridwald did bring up was that the people of Sunsteed, the east village, they've had a problem lately with whites and undead,
right,
rising from the forest.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, if we stayed long enough to recover our endurance, then is there any direction anyone wants to take at this time, other than?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask too. Is what
you're welcome in here to take a fellowship phase, and because it is near the end, beginning to get near winter, so you can.
Well, weren't we going on to Erebor?
You were going on to Erebor, but I'm just.
But we don't want to wait till the snow flies. Is what
okay.
I'm saying. You don't want to wait till the snow is out before you go and attack them out. I don't mean attack, but.
You're gonna go attack Erebor? Interesting, Lorth.
So, do we want to take a stop over at Lake Town and speak to Bomber about the woodsman to see if anything's changed before we head back to Erebor, since it's on the way?
Yeah, and I think we need to talk to the king bard about whether or not he still has his elf friend dagger in his possession, and if he does, he needs to keep it safe.
Okay, I would agree with you, and as long as we make it quick, because I would like to go back and visit Mare.
Yeah, I mean, we would. That would be the intent.
Sorry, it's been a long journey.
I understand. My love travels with me, so.
So you are traveling on to Lake Town. That's one more travel test.
Okay.
You guys want me to do the song, or is that still included, or it's a new phase?
It's a new phase.
All right, I'll do the song roll. That's a 16 with 2 tengus.
All right. I got a Gandalf, so I'm good.
All right. You travel out along the river running and out to the river, and the river takes you to the long lake.
Oh.
19.
19. Excellent.
I got a Gandalf as well, so.
So no problem, and when Mary returns, I'll have her roll. So you get back to Lake Town. In Lake Town, every other word seems to be Una. There are dolls of Una everywhere.
Una Matata?
Is completely popular as can be. Every little girl wants to be Una. Make a travel test.
I'll be right
Pretty
back.
cool.
I still haven't used my extra.
Well, he made a fresh song, so you get your...
Oh, wow. Can I use the other two, or did I have to?
You can use the two.
Okay. I'm gonna need 'em.
I haven't given you the result.
Alright, that's better. 17 with the tango.
17 with the tango. Make sure you mark on that, on your sheet that you got that. So you have no problem traveling along the river from Thranduil's Kingdom to the Long Lake. As I was telling everybody, it's all Una all the time. Everybody's always asking, what did you see her wear? Oh, did she get this? Oh, where did she get this baby?
The cursying Una dolls are flying off the shelves at the Dale Market of Toys.
You would suspect for New Year, for the New Year, the year's end, that there the dwarves will have Una dolls coming out that walk, and even if they're crafty enough, will talk with some of Una's motivational phrases.
Motivational phrases?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
I get in on that action as a tradesman.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I'll start working on some prototype dolls.
So she's basically Tony Robbins in a dress, is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
We have to sell the pipeweed too.
Oh, yeah.
That's better than Jello.
Yeah, I could use some treasure.
Oh, that's easy.
Well, I was going to say that for Aeroport.
Up my standing.
Oh, sell it at Erebor? Okay.
But if you think it's better to sell here for information,
So what
that's
was our
fine too.
decision to go straight to Erebor?
No, you decided to go to Lake Town and talk to
Well,
Bomber first.
Ooh, what's Bomber doing?
So we'll go
Bomber's
speak
kind
with
of
Bomber.
the representative of Erebor, kind of the ambassador there.
He just likes it because he doesn't have to go up and down stairs as much, and he gets to eat a lot. Right? Am I right?
You sure are.
He's big on fish.
Right. It's
big
very
on
good for his
everything.
diet.
Yeah, I suppose you're right, guys. Alright.
Yep, so you enter Lake Town. You are passed through the merchants area in the artisans district. And you're going over to where Bomber is. Elven Quarter Residential District. He is in the Dwarf Notables, Town Councilors. Yeah. He's in the Elf Quarter, where they have most of the ambassadors. They have the ambassadors to Thranduil, and they have the ambassadors to to Erebor there too.
The Elf Quarter, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like the ghetto area, or is it like,
No, it's nice.
Gentrification?
Gentrification.
Okay.
So Bomber is draw. So that you asked to see Bomber, and Bomber's very curious to hear what you have to say because he's heard several rumors, and says, "So, company of the whiskey drinking bear, you've returned."
Aye, we have.
So
And we have concerning news about our latest journeys.
I heard, and he places on his desk a elf friend dagger.
Hmm.
You can see that it wasn't me.
Yes, very good. I did not believe that it would be you. But the dagger that my friend carries here, would you have any known acquaintances with who may have carried it?
Who carried it? I know several dwarves that are on good terms with the Elf Kingdom, but I don't think any of them would spend enough time in the Thranduil's kingdoms. They're much more happy to spend time in Erebor. Meet with representatives here in Lake Town if they have to travel abroad to meet with somebody.
Well, we were thinking more of the woodsmen here in Lake Town. We found
woodsmen.
a partner.
Woodsmen barely make it out to Lake Town. They only usually do that for Dragontide.
So there's a connection with Lake Town. We found a parchment along with this elf friend dagger, and we believe that there's some kind of conspiracy going on.
You're looking for someone who has spent a great deal of time in the Elf Kingdom. You're not talking about a casual acquaintance here.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one name that has surfaced is Frigwald, the runner. Do you know of him?
I do not know of him.
Maybe you could put the word out and see what you can find out about him for us, if you could.
I'll do that. I have people with nothing better to do all day, who are tired of running errands to getting me second lunches.
Very good. We're. Do we want to ask them about how are things going with the people that are actually cutting into the forest territory of the elves? How's negotiations or dealings with those people doing?
Things are going pretty well. They are working with the locals to develop agricultural areas to feed to get in on that action, and they've slowed down the construction here. It seems that we've built up most of Dale and Lake Town without having to expand.
Excellent work.
Very nice.
Very nice.
But if times keep being good, or if times are bad, then there's going to be more construction of war machines, defenses, or if things are good, population booms and a need to expand. So you've got a moment to breathe.
So do we have the list of elf friends from Thranduil?
No, we're going to work on that over the year's end.
Okay.
It's a lengthy list.
Okay. All right. So we ask as well about Una and how things are going there.
I think we're going to have a queen sooner than later.
What's that?
We're going to have a queen sooner than later.
Yes.
I've met her myself. She doesn't eat enough. I don't trust a woman that doesn't eat enough.
Is there any other reason to not trust her?
She smiles too much.
Smiles too much.
Smiles too much, doesn't eat enough.
Is she smiling because she's in love?
Could be. That's kind of sad. It's weak.
Are there any events going on here this week that we may partake?
Nope, not this week. We're getting ready for Dragontide coming up in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks to Dragontide. Okay. All right.
So if you want to compete in some of the events, that'd be the time.
Yes. Maybe you recall our last competitions.
I did. We went up against Bilbo Baggins, didn't we, Elbrimborn?
Yes, we did. It was a great competition amongst you all. I'll have to give you guys the opportunity to beat me this year. If hopefully I have time to come by and enjoy all your company again and the old Hobbit can come and join us here too. I think now we have kind of an urgent. We need to be on the move. We definitely wanted to meet with you, and that is good news, and share what knowledge we have, and possibly talk to King Bard before we head up to our Erebor. But that is our next trip. We will say hi to everyone up there for you.
We'll stay for the night here. I'll have them clear a table at my favorite restaurant for you, and send an ambassador air assistant up to King Bard to let him know that you're coming.
Wonderful.
So you're always easier to get into King Bard with an appointment.
Could you
Yeah, it's true.
give us some hints about Una, what she likes, what things she finds interesting?
She is very much about the people here. She's about health and family and growth of the culture. It's that Dorwinian blood of hers.
Do you know much about her family?
She believes that Deo can be a cultural center. More so than it already is. I think she wants to elven things up a little.
Oh well, then I'll have to think of a wedding present. I have some ideas.
I'm gonna get her some ale.
Gift that keeps on giving.
I figured.
She's probably tired of all the Dorwinian wine anyway.
That's right. Can't trust a woman who just drinks wine and doesn't eat enough. Smiles too much.
Note to self,
Very good.
don't smile. Every
Cool.
time he says that.
Anything else you have for Bomber?
I do not believe so.
Yep.
Oh, no, we should tell him about the Easterly Inn, though. You know,
What are you gonna tell him?
well, we if you're ever down that way, some Hobbit friends of ours, Brandy Bucks,
You've got my attention.
run a nice little inn called the Easterly Inn, and they are working very hard to make a good reputation in all the lands, and they're at a great stopping point.
And I provide Bomber a
Appreciate
small
you
pouch of
sending
the
any
pipe
business
weed,
down that way.
the shire weed.
Yeah.
Say this is these are some of the goods that they keep.
And I tell him of the Lovebird special in honor of the king and future queen
You get to
The
eat the
roast chicken.
lovebirds.
on their menu.
The royal roast chicken.
Oh yeah, it's a great, because I'm sure he would love some pipeweed.
What? They have pipeweed? Clear my schedule for the spring. We're going for a trip.
Thor is giving him a sample of it.
Yeah, I gave you a pouch of it to sample, so that you would know how good it is.
That did not last. I will be making a trip there in the spring for sure.
Good. Please send our regards if you do visit them,
I will.
and take something to trade with them. They would be quite happy to trade with you.
I bring them some fine things from the mountain.
Good. Okay. Do we find an inn here, or are we headed to Erebor?
He sets you up for the night there, gives you time for him to send a messenger up to set up an appointment with Bard.
Okay, good.
And that's where we will leave it for the night.
All right.
Alrighty.
Excellent.
You guys have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of hope to divide amongst yourselves.
Wow.
I need
Okay.
one.
Yep.
That's all I need. One.
You need one?
Yep.
I'm good on hope.
I'm
Sigurd?
good too.
All right.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll
We're
just
all full
pocket
up.
some hope. So everybody have a wonderful holiday. And for those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for watching this year with us with the company of the Whiskey Drinking Bear.
Okay.